Yo, what's going on guys? My name is Okan and today I want to discuss with you guys about sugar because I truly do believe that sugar itself is kind of something that a lot of people just don't understand how it can really affect your life and all of that kind of stuff. And one thing that I want to say right in the beginning of this video is that we're all different, right? Some people might get more side effects from eating sugar and some people might not get as much. We're all different, so make your conclusions on that. And I'm totally different from everybody, right? Like how it affects me might be completely different how it affects somebody else, but I just wanted to get that out of the way. Now let's get to the point. Now I want to talk about sugar itself because sugar is something that my body is completely allergic to. Like I realized it actually quite later in my life, but when I started thinking back into my teenage years, that the way that I was acting, the way I was behaving overall, I started to realize that it was probably mostly because of eating sugar. When I was younger, I used to eat a lot of sugar, like candy. I was drinking energy drinks and all that kind of stuff. And I was really kind of like this, I don't know, I would get angry so easily, I was always frustrated, I was really anxious, I was depressed, and all of that kind of stuff. And the older that I got, I started to realize that, hey, you know what, it's all probably been because of sugar. Now you might be asking that, that is a bit interesting, like what do you exactly mean? And what I mean by that is that a lot of people don't understand how sugar truly works, how it affects you psychologically. Now I'm going to give you guys a great example here. When I was doing, back in the day I used to do, face-to-face personal training. I used to train my clients, and I've made transformations for my clients that have, people have lost, 50, even 60, 70 kilograms of extra fat from their bodies. And mostly these people that were overweight, they had this thing that they were all addicted to sugar. Basically meaning that they have been eating for years, chocolate, candy and all of that, and they couldn't go for a single day without eating sugar. Why? Because if they quit eating sugar, they would literally get withdrawals from sugar. Meaning that if they would cut eating sugar, they would get angry, they would get frustrated, they would get anxious, they would get depressed and all of that kind of stuff. Now, if that already tells you that if you quit eating sugar from a long period of time of consume, you will get withdrawals or side effects from quitting using it, right? So what does that automatically tell you? Well, what are the other things that you get withdrawals from? Drugs, tobacco, alcohol, even corn. You know what I mean by corn. These are all those type of things that you have probably heard somebody get some type of psychological side effects from quitting using it, right? So if you get these type of side effects from quitting using these substances, and you get the same type of side effects from quitting using sugar, wouldn't that automatically kind of tell you that sugar is a drug as well? Obviously when you eat sugar, you don't get hallucinations and those type of psychological effects. It doesn't really hit you that, it doesn't give you that psychic boost or whatever you want to call it. Well, I mean, you've probably seen some kids, get sugar high from sugar, they can't stop running and climbing the walls and all that kind of stuff. But it still tells you that if you get withdrawals from it, side effects from quitting using it, that already tells you that it is some kind of a form of a drug. Now I've seen it personally with my own eyes. I've seen people get these withdrawals, they've been explaining to me, and that's one of the biggest keys and reasons why it's so hard for those people to quit eating sugar or unhealthy overall, because everything that we eat today has added sugar. And I just want to make this clear, I'm not talking about natural sugars in this video. I'm not talking about the sugar that is in the fruits, sugar that is in carbohydrates and that kind of stuff, like natural sugars. I'm talking about added sugar, white sugar. And what I just want to say is that, okay, now if you look at the majority of the world, majority of the people in today's world, especially here in Western countries, are depressed. So many people are depressed in today's society. It's actually crazy. Anxiety, depression, panic, all different types of mental disorders packed, right? That is not normal if you truly think about it. Like, well, how is everybody mentally ill? Why does everybody have these mental disorders? And if you just listen to what I said, that quitting eating sugar causes withdrawals, well, maybe all the depression and all the anxiety that you see in today's world is caused by sugar. But of course, nobody's realizing it. Nobody's even thinking about it. Why? Because it is legal, right? Nobody's telling you that, oh, sugar is a very bad thing, you know, sugar is causing this and sugar is causing that, or da 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 da. No, keep eating sugar, right? That's what they want to push you with, right? But imagine, if it causes these type of side effects, well, maybe you're depressed because of eating sugar, right? And people are eating crazy amounts of candy, crazy amounts of all kinds of chocolate and ice cream, donuts and whatever. No matter, like, it's a no-brainer why you're depressed. There's a very good saying that your gut is your second brain. What you eat is how you feel, period. What you eat is how you feel, period. Let me give you guys a very good example, actually, from my own perspective as well. You know, when I was around 20 years old, I actually started to do very deep research on sugar because I was going through quite hard times. I was extremely anxious, I was extremely depressed, and stuff like that. So I had to really find a cure because I didn't really have a specific reason why I was feeling like that way. I did have a breakup, but it was a few years ago. I didn't really have a specific reason to be feeling so low. So I started to do a lot of research. And by doing research, I truly found many other people, right, who had same type of problems and this and that, and they were talking about how sugar is affecting it, causing it basically. So what I started to do myself is I started to run tests on myself, right? I became like a test rabbit, whatever you want to call it. So what I started to do is that I would eat ice cream, because I was having these nightmares and all this kind of stuff. So I started to eat ice cream right before bed, and I would start, I wanted to see whether if the ice cream or the sugar was actually causing the nightmares that I was having. I was having like anxiety attacks when I was going to the bed. And by doing so, I ate the ice cream and I went to the bed, and every single night that I consumed, ice cream or donuts and stuff like that, I would get these like anxiety attacks during my sleep, like extreme sweat and all that kind of stuff. So that immediately gave me my response that I wanted. I started to understand that, okay, it's the sugar that is really causing these anxiety attacks. Because the thing is that if you are going through, hard times, anxiety and stuff like that, sugar will bring it up much more easier, the feeling of anxiety. That's something you want to research or look maybe a little bit more deeper into it. It's the same with caffeine. It's the same thing with alcohol. Like if you're extremely anxious, it can actually much more easily bring your anxiety back up. So that's the problem. If you're already anxious and you're consuming a lot of sugar, it's just going to bring it up more easily. So it's harder for you to actually fight against it and become healthy, anxiety-free, depression-free. Because if you're eating all this unhealthy stuff, it's just going to bring it more and more and more. So sugar is highly, highly affecting your mental health. So what you should do, right? What should you do, right? Because should you just completely stop eating sugar? Yes. Basically, yes. I think if you can stop eating added sugar, although they try to put it into every single food that you consume, even if you go to the market and you want to buy some bread, you flip it around, you look on the description, yeah, pretty much everything has added sugar these days. Pretty much everything has some kind of a syrup. And by the way, when I'm talking about sugars, I'm also talking about corn syrup. I'm also talking about glucose syrup. These are all poison. poison to your brain, poison to your body, right? It's all affecting here, man. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that maybe if you're feeling depressed, maybe if you're extremely anxious, it's because of your diet, it's because of the things that you eat. And it's not just sugar, it's all these fried, pizzas and burgers and all that kind of stuff. It's the same thing. Whatever you put into your gut is going to immediately affect you psychologically as well. That's the point that I wanted to make in today's video. I just want to tell you guys, like, truly from the bottom of my heart, I'm not just talking here, right? These are from experiences, people that have actually went through these kind of things. I have seen it myself. And if you become a little bit self-aware and you actually start to notice how your body reacts to the things that you eat, how you behave, right? A majority of the people can't do it. They just act crazy and all of that, and they never even think that that was, weird in a way, right? But if you can start to be a little bit self-aware, that next time you eat a lot of sugar, how do you feel? How are you feeling mentally? How are you feeling on the next morning? Do you have that sugar hangover that a lot of people don't even realize? Oh, it couldn't be sugar. Oh, yes, it could. And yes, it is. Let's just put it that way. So, yeah, that's what I want to really talk with you guys today, because I truly do believe that majority of the people can honestly become a lot more better mentally, become mentally healthy, live a good life if you really watch on what you eat, what you consume. That can truly change your life. It did change mine, and it has changed hundreds of others, thousands, probably millions of others who actually know about this. That's the topic of today's video. I hope you guys got something out of this. My name is Okan. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.